Welcome to Petersfield in Hampshire for one of the biggest motocross events of the year. It's the British Sidecar Grand Prix, the penultimate round in this year's World Championship. 30 of the world's top sidecar crews are here, representing 14 countries. The 1.3-mile circuit will certainly provide a stern test for both the two-man teams and their machines. Machines which have been developed over the years to combine performance with power.
The chief thing now is they're all two-strokes. If you go back 10 years, they were all big Nortons and Yamahas. Nowadays, they're all two-strokes. The technology and the design really takes itself from the solo motocross. So we've got long travel suspension, something like 10 inches on the front, 8 inches on the rear, and 6 or 7 inches on the sidecar wheel to soak up the bumps around here. And there are a lot of those, David. The engine is a 620cc single-cylinder two-stroke, water-cooled, driving through a 5-speed gearbox. The whole thing weighs something in the region of 300 pounds, and this is interesting because, as you say, it's a Dutchman's bike, and the Dutch and some of the Germans have their sidecars on the right-hand side, whereas the English and the Swiss have the chair on the left.
As you mentioned, the Continentals seem to dominate. It's a long while since a British outfit won this. Do you think there's any chance at all that in the foreseeable future the Brits can once again take the World Championship or win this race even?
Well, it is a pity. I mean, harking back those 10 years, we had people like Nick Thompson at the top of the world. Doug Fox was also up there from down in Kent. Chris Etheridge is our current man in form, I suppose, and he's in with a chance maybe of pulling off a home win today. But for some reason, on the continental scene, the British men can't match the pace. Reliability is a problem. Investment as well, sponsorship is crucial to the success of any World Championship effort.
And the World Championship standings before this Grand Prix reflect the continental domination. Humbert Timmermans and Eric Verhagen of the Netherlands, clear leaders from the Belgians Ramon and Strubbe. MECENE and Morgan of France are fourth. The top British duo, Chris Etheridge and Nick Brace, lie 11th in the World Championship, and they've just completed their time practice.
We come back in and our time was only the 14th quickest. And we couldn't understand why. You know, everything went well for us. The bike's good. We thought we was quick, but it's just the way it goes. I mean, these guys are good, and we just have to do something a little bit better in the race.
So at this distance, have you decided yet what your race tactics are going to be, or are you just going to see how it works out?
Yeah, I think on the start is always a problem. We want to stay out of trouble on the start, let the first lap settle down, and then hopefully we'll be in at least the top 10 on the first lap. And it's no panic. You haven't got to be there after 3 laps. You've got to be at the end after half an hour, so it's just slowly and one at a time.
With me now, Humbert Timmermans and Eric Verhagen. Eric, what do you think of the circuit?
It's a very nice circuit. It's difficult. It's a long track, and it's very heavy.
So is that going to suit you, or is that difficult for you?
It's good for us, I think.
Well, this meeting, staged by the Waterlooville Motorcycle Club, has attracted a big crowd. The start of the first leg of the British Grand Prix is just a couple of minutes away. Join us after the break. Welcome back to Petersfield. The first leg of this year's Sidecar Grand Prix is about to start. Let's now join our commentator, Barry Nutley.
60 very fit men in what is acknowledged to be the toughest form of motorcycle sport. From this Manor Farm circuit at Langrish, just outside Petersfield in Hampshire. Watch the gate then. The gate drops towards the riders, so they mustn't touch it, otherwise their section won't go down. Everybody just about away, bar 1 or 2 up towards the first left-hand turn. And that's number 1, Benny Janssen, reigning world champion, hooked up on the post. But from the word go, the Frenchman Gilles MECENE, Eric Morgan, out in front. MECENE number 12 then leads. The adverse camber drop, an awful lot of dust. Riders picking their way through, heading out now towards the open country. So it's number 12, MECENE. It looks as though it's the German Netterschneid, number 4, in second place. It is indeed. Walter Netterschneid and Lothar Jehler in second place. But MECENE, the Frenchman, number 12 on the Kawasaki, away down the back of the circuit, very, very fast. flat out in third gear around this point, hooking it up to fourth. The power of the Kawasaki stretching away from Nederschneid. The red colours of what looks to be like Brusman, and it's Etheridge, number 26, Chris Etheridge in third place. So a good start by the Englishman. Maidstone in Kent is where Etheridge comes from. Etheridge then, Nick Brace in third. Up the back hill, and what a lead already by MECENE and Morgan, the Frenchman number 12. Etheridge pushing hard in third, looking to go through on the inside of Walter Nederschneid. There's Etheridge, number 26, in your picture. Joseph Brusman, number 14, in fourth place. MECENE hanging out the back end. Etheridge still being caught now by Brusman, number 14. A long way to go. 30 minutes will be the full race distance. MECENE cresting the top of the hill. Nederschneid still in second, then it's Etheridge. Then the number 14 pairing, Josef Brusman and Werner Kirchner, the red crew in your picture, hot on the heels of Etheridge, across the adverse camber climb at the top. Etheridge has the advantage of having his sidecar on the left, whereas the German's passenger is riding at the top of the hill, but my goodness me, he's putting the Englishman under pressure now. Etheridge then having to work really hard to defend that third place from the very determined Germans, but what a start by the Frenchman. Race leader MECENE all the way from the Toulouse area down there in the south of France. And this going will suit him absolutely to a T, just the way they like it in France. Hard, bone hard and dusty, in fact. Since the two-strokes came into sidecar cross, Gilles MECENE has really been a force to be reckoned with on the continent. And it's just about the man to beat in his home country. And my goodness me, what a performance he's put up in the 1991 sidecar cross series, lying fourth in the championship at the moment on 149 points, MECENE. The man in second place in this race, number 4, Walter Nederschneid, is in third place in the championship, so a lot of points at stake. 20 points they collect for the win, 17 for second place. Race order then, the top 6. MECENE, Nederschneid, we're looking at those, Etheridge and Brustman having an almighty scrap. Then the Belgians, Ramon and Einbert Timmermans, championship leader, is there in 6th place. Timmermans obviously not wanting to throw anything away. Number 14, Brustman, and Werner Kirchner, a man who goes back many, many years sidecar passengering in this sport. 15 years at the top level, Werner Kirchner. And a name that springs to mind, he passengered with Willy Liebel in the early 80s. But Kirchner there doing a sterling job for Brustman in pursuit of Chris Etheridge and Nick Brace. The home crowd very much behind the young Kentishman here. Etheridge probably, having clinched the British Championship, the best hope we have in Britain of a man winning the Grand Prix here, but he's now in third place. And the home crowd urging him round the right-hander onto the start-finish area. Ramon, number 8. And their former world champion, Christoph Husser, trailing some way down the order. Now, Husser has had a fairly mediocre season in 1991. No wins to date. In fact, he's sitting in 8th place in the championship. Second place, number 4, Walter Nederschneid and Lothar Jehler. 2 wins under their belt. They won in Germany, a double win in Germany, and winner of the first leg in Switzerland, the number 4 pairing. Etheridge's best result in Switzerland with a 5th and a 3rd. 13 and 17 points is what he came away from Switzerland with. But this man, race leader, Gilles MECENE, has only had one other win, and that was the second leg. And look at the British flag there going out to urge Etheridge to even greater lengths if at all possible. Eddie Ramon, number 8, and Gino Struber. And there, Christoph Husser piling on the coals as well, winding in the leading bunch. Timmermans, number 5, Eric Verhagen across the top of the jump on the downhill stretch. And the German now closing on the back of Gilles MECENE. These two getting away from the chasing bunch. It really is a scrap now about first and second, and it's anybody's guess as to which one of these crews is going to lift the glory in this leg one of the 1991 British Sidecar Cross Grand Prix from Langrish. Both of them sidecars on the continental side. That is the right-hand side of the bike. Unlike the British and Swiss crews who have the chairs on the left, and it certainly would appear that the right-hand sidecars have a very slight advantage around this Petersfield circuit. Third place in the world then, number 4, Walter Netterschneid, currently sitting on 161 points. And what a sterling performance by Josef Brustmann, number 14. Who hasn't really featured in the world table to date. I mean, Brustmann is really out of the twilight zone. He's not a name we're used to seeing in the top half a dozen at a Grand Prix, but certainly delivering the goods here at Petersfield. Race leader then still, Gilles MECENE. Second place still, number 4. Walter Netterschneid. And closing on the downhill drop, and the German is very, very fast down into this left-hander at the bottom of the hill. Passengers' legs flailing the air. Difficult to get a compromise on the power and the steering round there. Too much power, and the outfit will crowd over to the right-hand side. And these men really are nothing short of athletes. They run, they train, they weight lift. And you can imagine, it speaks for itself, doesn't it, just how super fit they have to be to pursue this particular branch of motorcycle sport. And the organisers here at the Waterlooville event have done a superb job in track preparation, the dust being kept to a minimum. And coming off the circuit there now, that's a retirement already. Number 17 pulling out, Dirk van Lagermatt, the Belgian. As moving up through the field now, series leader Einbert Timmermans and Eric Verhagen, number 5, having a very, very steady ride in the top 6. Still watching now the battle for first and second, but it looks as though Gilles MECENE has got the measure of the second place man Netterschneid. He's now stretched out that gap. And Etheridge is still in third and closing. Now the Union flags are waving here for Chris Etheridge and Nick Brace, because they are very, very obviously closing on the second place man. That is the second place man in your picture now. Rounding the turn. Let's wait for Etheridge. There he is. And the crowd know, they sense that they could have a British second place and maybe even a victory here at Petersfield. So Etheridge being urged to the limit by the home supporters. Waiting for Etheridge now out of the turn as Netterschneid crests the hill. And Etheridge is missing, because up into third place now has come Brustmann. So Chris Etheridge, oh, what a disappointment for the young Kentishman and his passenger from Bracknell. They're out of the running here in leg 1 of the Grand Prix. There it is, mechanical retirement for Etheridge. Well, that immediately elevates Josef Brustmann and Werner Kirschner up into third, and they are now under real pressure from Christoph Husser, number 19, and his passenger Adrian Kaiser, former double world champions, this pairing from Switzerland. In fact, when Husser won the championship, he had his brother in the chair, but Kaiser is the man for 91. Second place then, number 4, Walter Netterschneid and Lothar Jehler. This is the scrap for third place now, and Brustmann, I have to say, must be going through just a little bit of surprise element here, finding himself in third place in very hot company indeed. Christoph Husser really going at it round the outside, and Husser is set to grab that third place. There is the series leader, Einbert Timmermans, Eric Verhagen, number 5, having a very comfortable ride, and they know they need to score points without doing anything reckless or anything silly and throwing caution to the wind. They've just got to ride steadily and get the points. Meanwhile, back at the front, Gilles MECENE, number 12, Eric Morgan from the southeastern area of France. Walter Netterschneid, Lothar Jehler from Germany, down there in second and closing just a little bit again. And behind them, the battle raging now for third and fourth places. Well, it's looking as though MECENE is romping to this win, and it suits him ideally, because the circuit here at Langrish is taking them about 2.5 minutes to complete each lap, and it's just about the best circuit in Hampshire, certainly one of the finest venues in the south of England. Motocross has been held here for something in the region of 25 years, an annual event. This, of course, is the big one. First time the Grand Prix has been staged here, and a capacity crowd enjoying tremendous weather. What a spectacle of racing. Husa then, looking as though he's forced through up to third. Yes, he has indeed. Brusman is now down. And right behind Brusman is Fusenegger. Number 21, Karl Fusenegger from Austria is now closing on Brusman, who looks to be tiring. This is the race leader still. And still, yeah, Walter Nederschneid there in second place, number 4. It's at this point in the race, I think, that the passengers will begin to feel a bit of fatigue creeping in. There you have the top 6. Christoph Husa, Adrian Kaiser now in third. Brusman still in fourth. Fusenegger breathing down his neck. And championship leader, looking as though he might be the 1991 champion, Einbeer Timmermans, Eric Verhagen in 6th place. That's all they need to do. That'll give them 10 points. If they pull in 10 points in this one, they are really on with a chance of winning the title in leg 2. Number 56, the rider being lapped there, Wolfgang Kuhn, as the riders force on. Now, this is a real problem when they get among the tail enders. All sorts of things can happen. But look, Brusman is now... Husa is out. Christoph Husa, number 19, on the left of your picture, has had a mechanical retirement. So to say that's a major disappointment, I think, is an understatement. So Husa has retired from a brilliant third, promoting Brusman yet again to that coveted third place slot. We're watching the second place man now, still, Walter Nederschneid, who mounted a challenge in the early stages to Gilles MECENE, the green outfit in your picture, in fact, just leaving your picture, but that challenge has faded. The man behind the number 4 outfit is a tail ender, so Walter Nederschneid has no real problems from the rear. Nobody's going to attack him. It looks a fairly comfortable second place. What a spectacular piece of Hampshire countryside this is, and presumably after the event it'll be restored to its original condition as farmland. Look at the ruts and the banking thrown up really by pure acceleration as the sidecar wheel lifted there. That just illustrates how tired the sidecar passengers are getting. That man was just a little bit light coming around there and nearly got his driver in all sorts of trouble. No trouble though for the second place crew, Walter Nederschneid, Lothar Jahler. There's a tail ender. Right in the thick of the action, but the competitors now getting fairly strung out. Gilles MECENE, Eric Morgan. Brusman, the third place man, cresting the hill. Single-cylinder, 2-stroke power, 5-speed gearbox, water-cooled, an awful lot of horsepower, and very, very tough machinery indeed. And Klaus Weinmann having a good run as well. I saw Husa circulating again there, so Christoph Husa, number 19, who retired with a mechanical problem, is running again because he's in your picture now, just ahead of Timmermans. So whatever the problem was with Husa, he's got the bike fired up and he's away again. He was definitely coasting at the side of the track. Whether, in fact, that was a bit of passenger fatigue, we don't know. But Husa's definitely got going again. And he's got everything to go for because he's on for points still. He's well in a point-scoring position and not about to give that up for anybody, I can assure you. In fact, I'll try and calculate approximately where Husa is, but it looks as though Husa might be in 6th or 7th place at this moment in time. But that, Gilles MECENE, Eric Morgan, number 12 on the Kawasaki, race leader. And a lot of tail enders ahead of them, so just a little bit of traffic to negotiate now. Hopefully they can keep out of trouble. Well, they've ridden this one very, very steadily. Almost a start-to-finish win for them, but the win not yet in sight, but the clock's saying that next time around they should get the last lap flag, so we'll wait and see if that's confirmed, but he's fighting his way through the tail enders now. Oh, there it is. 1 lap to do then of the Langrish circuit for Gilles MECENE and Eric Morgan. What appears to be an unassailable lead. This man in third place, Josef Brusman and Werner Kirschner, is having the fight of his life to keep Karl Fusenegger, number 21, behind him. Gilles MECENE then on his way now to what looks like the win in leg one here and 20 World Championship points. And I remind you that coming into this event, MECENE was on 149. If he pulls this one off, he will immediately go to 169. That won't, however, lift him ahead of Netterschneid in the championship, because Netterschneid is running in second place very, very strongly indeed. And he's in your picture. Walter Netterschneid and Lothar Jähl from Germany. Runners up and looking good, but down over the drop for the last time for Gilles MECENE. The tail ender ahead of him, number 54, that's the Hollister brothers from Reading in Berkshire. And what a good performance they've put up in this, their first Grand Prix. But I think the hearts of the crowd go out to the performance by this very, very tough, gritty French pair from the Toulouse area of France. And this, the battle for third. It's not over yet. There's plenty going on further down the field. And I've never seen Carl Fussenegger more determined. He's just throwing everything at the Bruceman Kirchner pairing ahead of him. Second place then, Netterschneid, number 4. And we are watching the tail ender being lapped again. In fact, mounting a bit of a challenge, one lap adrift, however, to the race leader, Gilles MECENE. That's still the Hollister brothers there, number 54. Trevor and Kevin Hollister, a lap adrift, but coming in with a moment of glory in the wheel tracks of first leg leader and what looks like first leg winner, Gilles MECENE, Eric Morgan, cresting the big hill for the last time. The Suzuki climb here at Langrish, down towards the next very tight right-hander, down through the gearbox here. Second gear this one, pulling hard. Round the corner again, Hollister still one lap adrift, but he hasn't been lapped by Netterschneid and Jähl. Race leaders then, Gilles MECENE, Eric Morgan under the bridge for the last time. The checkered flag is in sight. They know they've got this one. Nothing can go wrong now. Fists in the air. A great win. It looks as though Bruceman lost that vital third place to Fussenegger. Timmermans grabbed points. He had a good steady ride. And look at Husa. He got going. Whatever his problem was, he got points as well.
A well-deserved drink for Eric Morgan after a tough race in sweltering conditions. And for his partner and driver, Gilles MECENE, the number of jumps on a challenging course had certainly made an impression. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A good race for you?
Good race. Problem, jump. One race is no problem for you.
Confirmation of that result, MECENE and Morgan holding off Netterschneid and Jähl. The Austrians, Fussenegger and Meusberger third, but disappointment for home supporters, Chris Etheridge couldn't finish.
The exhaust springs broke, and which enabled the exhaust to fall off the front, so then you're down on power and it's not unable to carry on.
Was there nothing you could do about it? I mean, that was obviously the end of your race then.
Yeah, that was it. You can't carry on because it's too noisy and you get thrown out for too noise.
So the first leg of the British Sidecar Grand Prix goes to the French team of Gilles MECENE and Eric Morgan. From Petersfield, bye for now. Welcome to an international motocross meeting at Petersfield in Hampshire. It's the second leg of the British Sidecar Grand Prix, with teams from 14 countries battling it out for World Championship points. And it's an impressive venue for this year's British round of the World Championships. We're going to see the second leg. The first was won by number 12, the French pairing of Gilles MECENE and Eric Morgan. The Germans, Netterschneid and Jähler, were second, but the most significant placing was the fifth of Einbert Timmermans and Eric Verhagen, earning 11 more championship points. The Dutchmen have dominated this year's World Championship, and they're a step nearer the title, with the Belgians Eddy Ramon and Gino Strubbe finishing only 8th in that first leg. After the first race, we now think that if you win this next leg, you could become the world champions here, perhaps.
It's possible, but it's very heavy. I don't think we win the second race.
You don't think so? Why not?
There are our drivers and they are going faster here. I don't think it.
The top British team, Chris Etheridge and Nick Brace, were really flying in third place in the first leg when part of their exhaust system came off, putting paid to their challenge. But they certainly had the speed to match all the top European teams.
As long as we make the start again, we're going to be up there. And obviously we have to do a little bit more this time. I think it's, after time training, I thought we was be lucky to get a top 5 position, but I think it's possible we could win a race.
Well, Chris Etheridge and his partner Nick Brace will have the support of a big crowd here at Petersfield, no doubt most of them hoping to see a home victory. Thousands of gallons of water have been poured onto the course to try and keep the dust at bay. 30 crews line up for the start in 2 rows, the fastest qualifiers in the front, and that means that the defending world champion Benny Jansen will have his work cut out. He's on the 2nd row, and his usual partner is injured, so Eat Willems takes over in the chair today. And number 5 there, Timmermans and Verhagen. Victory here could make them world champions. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start. Join us again after the break. Welcome back to Petersfield. 30 crews starting to line up. At stake is the British Grand Prix. Let's join our commentator, Barry Nutley.
60 men again then line up for this leg 2. And what a hot prospect ahead of us. Spectators cramming their way round the vantage points on this Langridge circuit just outside of Petersfield in Hampshire. Ideal weather conditions, the crucial first turn, always a tight left-hander. Let's hope everyone gets safe. And a shunt already. 56 upside down. That's Wolfgang Kern, one of the Germans. Both men okay. They're struggling to get the bike upright. My goodness me, look at... Oh, God, dear, oh, dear. Over and over goes 3 or 4 of the outfits already. And that's Timmermans. Timmermans, number 5, still somersaulting. Etheridge is involved on the left-hand side. Riders running backwards and forwards across the circuit. It looks as though everyone is on their feet, although Timmermans' passenger is still trackside. He's prone, in fact. The race appearing to go on. It looks as though everything is still all systems go at the front. And a cracking start by number 13, Theo Morth. Hooser upside down as well. So developments further around. My goodness me, what a dramatic first lap here at Petersfield. 64, the crew involved as well, Günter Guvars with Hooser. Meanwhile, Timmermans, number 5, struggling to get his bike fit, hopefully to continue. Let's have a look at what happened. That's Timmermans coming over the right-hand side, somersaulting. That's Etheridge on the left of your picture, number 26. So the Englishman, meanwhile, Timmermans' bike still upside down. Nick Brace running for his life out of the way of the traffic. Dramatic stuff. No sign then of Timmermans. We'll see whether in fact he gets going or not, but the race goes on. And I think the dust contributed somewhat to that incident as Theo Morth, number 13, leads. From first race winner, Gilles MECENE. Then it's Josef Brustmann. Number 21 is Fusenegger, the man who fought into 3rd place in the first leg. And a dramatic start indeed for this leg 2. 30 minutes plus 2 laps await the drivers. As Theo Morf, number 13, speeds ahead of the opposition. He really took advantage of that one. Emil Bossard, this pairing from Switzerland, not usually in the top half a dozen. They are in fact lying in 12th in the championship at the moment on 53 points. There's Brusman. Brusman in fact was well up third, finished 4th in the second leg. Race leader then Theo Morf, number 13. Morf and Bossard from Switzerland, away down. The downhill drop very, very fast. 4th gear over the crest of that hill, down into 3rd for this long, sweeping left-hander. And just look at this battle now for 2nd place between Gilles Mécène, Eric Morgan on the green outfit, and Josef Brusman, Werner Kirschner, number 14. But this is the race leader, 13 on the bike. Unlucky for some, but not for this man, Theo Morf, Emil Bossard. 2nd and 3rd, scrapping hard, and right behind them it's number 21, Karl Fusenegger from Austria. Well, Brusman having a very aggressive attack on the outside of Mécène, and Brusman getting the drop on Mécène at the top of the hill. Gilles Mécène almost stalled it there. Down went the Frenchman's leg. So Mécène, first race winner, has been relegated to 3rd. And it looks as though number 21, Fusenegger, and Moisberger are also going to pass Gilles Mécène. Meanwhile, Theo Morf really capitalizing on a crystal clear vision ahead of him. There's absolutely no dust, no traffic. 4th place going through. 5th, it's number 7, and that's Andy Lenher. The Swiss Richard Weber. They're in 5th. Lenher then in 5th place. Fusenegger, the yellow pairing of this two. What a brilliant ride they had in the first leg as well. Battled up to 3rd to steal it from under Brusman's nose at the drop. But Brusman now is strong in this second leg, just like he was in race 1. But we've seen him fade before. Now maybe, just maybe, he'll fade again. There you have the top 6. Walden Ederschneid in 6th place. Andy Lenher, Fusenegger, Mécène, Brusman, and Theo Morf, number 13, has got his nose in front. Down the Goodyear Hill then, off the drop and sideways there for Morf. A tricky moment, much more steady and composed by Brusman. Theo Morf then, just riding nice and steadily, 53 points. Going into leg 1, Fusenegger, after a good 3rd place, number 21, is forcing hard in 3rd. 4th place, I beg your pardon, 3rd place, it's Brusman. With Brusman now, number 14. Really closing on the race leader. Theo Morf is having to look to his laurels as through on the inside, and into the lead goes Josef Brusman, number 14. Werner Kirschner doing a superb job holding down the back end of the bike. That's why the passenger has thrown himself across there, anchoring the back, but Theo Morf not having any of it. Germany versus Switzerland, that's what we've got at the moment here at Langrish. And Morf was on the inside line there, but couldn't take advantage of it because there was a good old English oak tree in the way. Now the long climb, and Brusman goes up the right-hand side of this hill. In fact, Morf following in his wheel tracks. That is where Brusman stole 2nd place from Gilles Mécène, who's now still in 3rd. No sign yet of Timmermans, the man who somersaulted so spectacularly on the first lap. If we can get an update on his position, I'll bring it to you just as soon as I get it. Morf then dropping back in 2nd place, going to fall into the clutches, I think, of Gilles Mécène. Fusenegger then 21, Andy Lenher number 7, and then number 4, Walter Ederschneid, Lothar Jähler, runners up in the first leg, but they're having to work hard in this one. Just look at the lead then that Brusman has got. And as I said before, he tired dramatically in leg 1. Is it going to happen again? I've got a sneaking feeling also that the man in the left of your picture now, number 12, Gilles Mécène, the Frenchman, is going to grab that 2nd spot from Theo Morf. And Brusman forcing out in front. Morf, then it's Mécène. The battle rages on. And Chris Etheridge, who was involved in that shunt early on, is down in the pits with David Bovin.
Well, the race is still going on, but as we can see, sadly, you're out. What actually happened on that first lap?
Everyone was queuing up to go under the bridge, hitting their brakes, and when they put water on the track, everyone skidded and hit each other up behind, and I come off worse. Run over a couple of times. I don't know, I might have broken my wrist.
You damaged your wrist?
Yeah, I think so.
So amazing that you managed to carry on. I mean,
I'd go on and you don't think about it at the time. Maybe after 3 laps, we weren't going to get any points, so it's pointless carrying on, really.
Disappointing way to finish, isn't it, really?
Very disappointing. It could have been such a good day, but it's ended up a bad one.
If we'd have got past the crash, I think we would have been probably in top 5, dude.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
But we went over, and of course, because we was near the front, the bike hit me. Did it hit you as well?
Yeah.
The bike come after us and hit us both. And I got up and I looked back, and there was like 20 odd outfits coming towards us. Chris was on by the side of the track. You got off, so I just ran and got behind the bike, so you know, in case any more come in. And lucky enough, no one else hit us.
But you went over to help Timmermans as well.
Yeah, well, Timmermans it's a world title for Timmermans, and I like the guy.
A fairly philosophical point of view there from Nick Brace, and the hot gossip around the paddock is that Nick Brace is retiring at the end of the 1991 season, leaving Chris Etheridge in something of a dilemma, really. But an equally hot rumour is that Shane Skeets, younger brother of the event organiser George Skeets, will be filling that vacant slot in the chair for 1992 for a full onslaught on the World Championship Series. Well, exciting news indeed for British sidecar cross supporters. But Gilles Mécène now has grabbed second place, back with the race proper. The Frenchman in second, Brusman still out in front, Théomorphe in third, Fussenegger in fourth, and number 4, the man who was runner-up previously, Walter Nederschneid, and he is currently sitting third place in the title. Morph then, what a brilliant start for him, but he's just beginning to fade a little bit. Number 7, Andy Lanier. Lanier very ably passengered by Reinhard Weber. Now, one wonders if Mécène can close that gap. And certainly he closed it very much indeed on that lap. Mécène, number 12, is in second place. And also moving up as well is Nederschneid, number 4. So Nederschneid is now up to 4th place, 4 on the bike, 4th in the race. It's frenetic stuff across the top of the circuit. Race leader still, Brusman, number 14. And look at Mécène closing. The Frenchman going for 20 points in this leg 2 of the British Cyclocross Grand Prix at Langrish near Petersfield. 20 points he'll get for the win of this one. And that will assist his World Championship standings no end. This is round 8 of a 9-round series. After this event, the riders move on to Czechoslovakia, and Mécène side by side with Brusman, and Mécène's on the overtaking line, through on the inside, powering hard. Brusman, however, having none of it, keeping his nose just in front again of the Frenchman. So Josef Brusman, what a superb performance. And Werner Kirchner, quick glance over the shoulder there as well, just to see where the devil that Frenchman is, and my goodness me, he's close now, just 1 bike length in it. The threat as well looming large behind the second place man is that of the number 4 outfit of Walter Nederschneid, who is making it abundantly clear that he doesn't want to let the Frenchman out of his sights. He's come up from 6th to 4th, and we're looking now to see if we can pick up Nederschneid. This is the battle, however, for 1st and 2nd, and Brusman is very, very quick along that bottom straight. And I think I saw Nederschneid just sneak through into 3rd place as they go up the hill. Now, watch the Frenchman. He goes hard on the left, the German goes hard on the right, and the Frenchman is really on the pipe. He's on the inside line. He's going for it. Mécène tight on the inside, but no way through. Brusman had the sweeping line round on the out. Coming down then towards the right-hander, Brusman. Sidecars both on the right-hand side, so no advantage in the technology here between these two. It's just the aggressive riding of that very, very tough Frenchman, I suspect, that's going to win the day. And Mécène is really going for it on the inside, and he's through, almost forcing Brusman into the chestnut palings. Well, we've got to cool the pace here in the commentary point, because it really is terrific sidecar motocross. The rough stuff at its very best. Nederschneid too has come up to play. He's in 3rd place. He wants to join the fun at the front of the race. Number 14, Brusman. Well, if I said he was riding out of his class, it would be an unfair statement, because he really is riding tremendously well. But he's mixing it with the very best of the world here. And doing his World Championship chances a whole power of good as they drop down the hill one more time. MECENE still just ahead of Brusman. Then Netterschneid, Lothar Jehler, number 4. Third place in the championship for them, I remind you, at this moment in time. No signing yet of the Eddie Ramon-Gino Struber pairing, who are lying in second place in the championship. And no sign either of the Timmermans-Verhagen pairing, who turned over, and I have to say, fortunately, without very, very serious injury, down this drop on lap 1. Well, MECENE has quite an army of French supporters who have come over to urge him through this British Sidecar Cross Grand Prix, and he's doing them justice. Just look at that, flicking it through. Eric Morgan holding down the third wheel, kicking up the dust for Brusman to fight his way through. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The top 6, Lenher still hanging on then. Top 5, I beg your pardon, to 5th place. Theo Morf, Netterschneid, Brusman, race leader MECENE Morgan. Incredible action. Now, Netterschneid is closing on the red-coated pairing of Brusman and Kirchner, looking as though he wants to make second place his own. Theo Morf, Emil Bossard, number 13. A nice, comfortable 4th place. And now, watch this up the hill. On the left-hand side, then, as race leader attacks the top, we're looking to see which one gets it, and it's Netterschneid. The fellow German's almost tipping upside down. Brusman, the passenger was just a bit light there. The sidecar wheel flicked up, and Brusman had to stick out a very steadying left leg to stop the whole thing cartwheeling down the hill. And he did that with great presence of mind and composure. The whole thing was on a knife edge there just for a split second, but he got it back. Second place then, Brusman now down in 3rd. So second place has gone to Netterschneid, who now has 2 laps. And there it is, 2 laps to close on the race leader, Gilles MECENE. And I think that's where the attention must focus. With 2 laps remaining, MECENE head down, right hand twisted back just as far as he can get it. A tail ender ahead of him. And Walter Netterschneid, Lothar Jehler, number 4, in your picture, just gone out of your picture because that's Brusman, are closing in second place. Now, the number 25 tail-ender could cause a problem. That's Jan Bakkens and Harry de Bresser. Harry de Bresser, the passenger who rode with Hugo de Vries for a number of seasons. Jan Bakkens, of course, the Dutch sandmaster, not doing the best, actually, in these very, very hard, dusty, bone-dry conditions here at Langrish. About to be lapped, suffering really the indignation of the Frenchman storming past. Jan Bakkens is very much at home in the deep sand of Holland, and he's doing a wonderful job of holding up the race leader here, because just look now, that's given Netterschneid the opportunity he wanted. He's almost on the back wheel of Gilles MECENE. They go around the outside of Bakkens. Race leader still number 12. Then it's Netterschneid, number 4, in second. And that's how close it is. They still have over a lap to do. Next time round, of course, they will get the last lap board. And the question on everyone's lips here at Petersfield is, can MECENE make it a double win and hold off the challenge from the flying German pairing of Netterschneid and Jehler? Tailenders could well prove to be their downfall. Netterschneid is on the inside. He sees the hole open. The door is wide open and he's gone for it. He's in front, but no, MECENE still fighting back. Tooth and nail, this pairing, and Netterschneid has got the line. MECENE will be into the tree if he's not careful, but it's Netterschneid just grabs the advantage there. With a little over 1 lap to go, the German leads, repaying the compliment meted out to him in the previous encounter. Up the hill then, and look at MECENE finding extra power from the Kawasaki. And Netterschneid got it all wrong there. The chopping and changing going on is unbelievable here. The crowd is on its toes. True value for money. Sidecar cross at its very best. And MECENE is in front again. Is it going to stay that way? We shall see. Next time round, the last lap board will go out. So as MECENE comes under the footbridge for the penultimate time, with Walter Nederschneid hard in his wheel tracks. MECENE sliding the rear end out there. Just over a couple of minutes of this frantic action left in the 1991 Sidecar Cross Grand Prix of Great Britain. And it's good to see Sidecar Cross returning to the UK after a year's absence. 1990 saw no GP in the UK simply because no club was prepared to take the financial risk and run it. And what a great disappointment that was to the crowd. But look at the action across the top of the hill here. Nederschneid knows that if he doesn't do it now, he'll have a fat chance of doing it. Brusman is still holding on to that third place. MECENE, Nederschneid. It's going to be about the downhill drop after this climb. Nederschneid trying to turn hard, get the power on. That's where it's very, very difficult. The torque of Nederschneid's engine just about proving to be a match for the Kawasaki. But on the downhill drop and the race towards the bridge, are they going to be side by side over the bridge? Death-defying it is as they head towards the drop. They hook it up a gear instead of changing down and drive hard into the sky. MECENE going wide, but there's no way Nederschneid could take advantage of that because he just couldn't get the power on. He was spinning hard out of that turn. Passenger hanging on by his toenails to keep the sidecar wheel down. Eric Morgan throwing himself over the rear end. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Another cloud of dust from MECENE. Well, I think my throat is just going to stay the pace here. Goodness knows what the passengers are feeling like. It's been 30 minutes plus 2 laps in unbelievably hot conditions. MECENE, though, appears to just have the edge. He's pulled away now. Up towards the tree. For the last time, Nederschneid hasn't given up. Dropping away down the hill. And now the long climb. This could be, if Nederschneid gets the power on, this could be where he does it. Making a last-ditch stand. He's on the inside line. Can he get through? And he shunted MECENE. Just touched the rear wheel of the Frenchman. And that's all it took. MECENE still then in front. Nederschneid still second. This is how they finished the first race. If Nederschneid can only reverse the position, he will take the overall win here in the British Grand Prix. And he's going for it. He wants to win it desperately. Under the bridge for the last time. MECENE, however, is going to make it a double 1-2. And in with a real chance of becoming overall world champion. MECENE then, this is the third place man, Josef Brusman. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. What a terrific race for Brusman, but MECENE, the winner.
So, a classic British Sidecar Grand Prix ends with handshakes between the top 2 teams. The result of that second leg and the Grand Prix, MECENE and Morgan of France from the Germans Nederschneid and Jähler. The same one too as the first leg. Josef Brusman and Werner Kirschner finished third. But no doubt that after winning both World Championship races here in Hampshire, Gilles MECENE and Eric Morgan deserve their Grand Prix title. From Petersfield, it's goodbye.